longest pause of all time.
Man, I have no concept. Hey, everybody, welcome to Your Music Sucks. I am Brian Beaudoin. That's my good buddy Craig Gass from Sex and the City and the House Turn Show and the King of Queens in Las
Yes.
Vegas.
Yes. And
How
currently
you doing?
sitting in a FedEx office where
And
anybody.
sitting in a FedEx office. Where in the world is Craig Gass and FedEx in Las Vegas?
I'm in a FedEx office right now. Anybody could walk in at any moment. Brian, how is life treating you?
Live streaming better than you right now, Craig.
You're right about that. It
In a
is.
fucking FedEx office.
Brian,
I love you so much for this.
I had the craziest show, dude. My last show I did was in Nashville, Tennessee. And right off the top, I mentioned I've been doing this thing about Morgan Freeman. I talk about Morgan Freeman right off the top. 30 minutes later, 4 or 5 subjects later, a woman in the back of the room stands up and yells out, this isn't funny. This isn't funny. And she's crying.
She's crying?
I said, what's not funny? And she goes, Morgan Freeman raped my roommate.
Oh,
and
shit.
The whole crowd froze.
That's a heavy allegation for a fucking Saturday night.
That's a heavy allegation. And I said, I'm sorry. And she said, it's not funny. Morgan Freeman raped my friend.
Sorry.
I did. I said, I'm sorry. And when she said it a second time, I said, I'm sorry. How would I know that? And she walked out of the room. She got up, walked out of the room. Her husband stayed, kept staring, eating his food.
Did he laugh?
He just was. It was almost like, hey, man, I'm not going to leave. I'm enjoying this show. And the only way to get out of it was to narrate my way out of it as Morgan Freeman. Everyone was frozen, and I said, those meatballs must have been delicious because he wasn't leaving. And he just sat there laughing, and then he enjoyed the show. At some point, 5 minutes later, the girl came back in. That's when I got scared. Because I thought...
she could have went and got a gun, like fucking do that. Freddie Four Fingers in Florida, wherever the fuck it is.
Exactly, at Uncle Funny's in Florida. So
sorry to disgrace the name. Just sorry to also desecrate the word desecrate.
Brian told me before we got started that he's in perfect form right now, that he's high as shit, and he's in a great mood.
I didn't say perfect. I said Rip Warren, Super Soul, and Real Deal Holyfield were my exact words.
Brian's one of my favorite people on the planet. And what we do every week is we do this thing called Your Music Sucks, where we get together. We're two friends who love each other. We love hanging out with each other. We just don't see eye to eye when it comes to music. So once a week, I send him one of my favorite songs. He sends me one of his favorite songs. And this week, you sent me a song from a band that I actually know called...
I cannot believe that you know this band.
Not only do I know this band, I had this crazy experience happen where it must have been 5 years ago. I go see Train at Mohegan Sun. Mm-hmm. And a buddy of mine who plays Train is introducing me to a whole bunch of people at the show. And he says, oh, man, let me bring you in to introduce you to the opening act. They're called O.A.R. This guy from O.A.R. is dying to meet you. And I was like, it sounded like, the way he phrased it, it just sounded like it was like, okay, I walked over and they go, hey, Mark, this is Craig. And this guy, Mark, goes, oh, my God, I'm the biggest Howard Stern fan on the planet. I love Al Pacino's Baby. He starts naming all these things.
Very specific bits.
Very, very specific bits. Yeah. And then I realized, oh, man, I've heard of this guy. This guy is such a Howard Stern fan. He's actually been on the wrap-up show several times, which is the show following the Howard Stern show, where they just kind of analyze what happened on the show today. And they typically have a guest on who is someone in entertainment who is a Howard Stern superfan. And this guy, Mark, I was mind-blowing. So
this is blowing my mind right now. Usually when you tell me you have a story, it's interesting. But this is fucking blowing my fucking mind away. All these fucking intertwined, connected things. I'm riveted right now.
Well, Mark and I exchange phone numbers, and we text each other from time to time. He lives in New York City, and but later that night, I watched them perform, and now I'm invested in this show because the guy loves me, and so I'm watching the show, and there was one song they played that was. It's hard for me to watch a new band for the first time and enjoy them. I have to like let them. I gotta let them soak in a little bit. I got to marinate in what they do for a while to really understand what their vibe is. And I was shocked when I saw the show that there was one song in particular. First of all, the whole vibe of the band was amazing, but there was one song in particular that made me cry. First time I heard it, made me cry. I don't even know what the song is. I got to find it.
Oh my God.
I'll send it to you next week. But it was a song that really hit me right where I live, and it was a song about relationships. A song about essentially about like working through your shit. And this song you sent me, I first of all, I was like, oh, O.A.R. And then you know what happened, Brian. You know
I know exactly what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
I know exactly what happened.
I looked at the video and I went, how is it possible this is a 9-minute song? It's 8 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yeah, yes, it was. All of it.
Well, there better be a good story behind this. The song that you sent me is a song by O.A.R. called Game of Poker. Is it Crazy Game of Poker or is it just Game of Poker?
Crazy Game Poker.
Okay. So Crazy Game of Poker where, yeah, it is Crazy Game of Poker. So it just starts out describing a poker game and it's some crazy shit happens in the poker game. All right, who's up for game 2? What to do? My wallet's getting thin, and I just lost my watch last night. Well, I got a problem. Just one answer. Got to throw it all down and kiss it all goodbye. Yeah. And they just keep repeating, that was a crazy game of poker. I've listened to it just listening to it 4 times takes up 45 minutes of my life. So I've listened to it 4 times. And Crazy Game Poker. What's interesting about it is the song goes on for so long, he stops coming up with lyrics. He just starts putting mumble jumbo together, going skibidi, skibida, babada.
Yeah, I do the whole fucking thing.
Yep. I say now, skeetily dat. How about that? I'm coming out the front, never coming out the back. I walked out into the bar yesterday because I had something to say. Johnny walked in right behind me. And I heard the sound of his feet falling to the ground. I looked over my shoulder and I saw a clown.
That's right.
And I said, what you doing in the bar? At some point, you go to verse 5. Verse 5.
It's a tale, my friend. It's a crazy game of poker. It's not a mediocre game. A mediocre game would only be a 3-minute song.
It's still going. I said, what you looking at? Hit me across the face with a bat. I grabbed my 45. I said, let's go out and go. So he opened the door and said, do what you're here. Mm-hmm. I'm wandering around the, what is it?
I don't know.
I'm
just watching you try to put this puzzle together in your head. It's very fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch you watch the lyrics.
Well, it's because here's the thing. The song goes on and on and on. At the end, like if you actually listen to the entire song, it sounds like he can't even believe the producer is still in the building, like recording this song, because he just goes, I said that was the craziest game of poker that I ever did. Like he's exhausted singing the song. If it wasn't for the fact that I've met this guy and I love this guy, I would give this song maybe a 2. But the fact that I've actually seen this band live, and man, I'm telling you, this band O.A.R. live seems like a group of friends just having a blast. Like I was really taken with, and the only thing that really made me even take an interest in even watching them perform live is because the guy said he knew who I was. So I was like, oh, well, you must be cool. So
anybody drops Baby Al Pacino, you better be at that pro show front fucking center.
Of course. So I will give this song a 3.5. Crazy game of poker. It grew on me. You don't have any choice. You listen to it once and it just grows on you because it doesn't end. It goes on forever and ever. There's like,
It is a tale. It is a
yeah,
tale, my friend.
it's about this. The song is about,
This crazy game of poker.
yeah, but it's like, you get out, you might be halfway through the new Batman movie. It's a long song. It's a long fucking song.
It's an investment. It's an
But
investment.
I have a question. Why did you send me this song in particular?
Because you sent me a 9-minute Billy Joel song last week. I wrote it down. I said, Billy Joel, fucking 8 minutes, stay true. And I said, I need to torture this motherfucker the same way he tortured me. And so I figured, what's the crazy shit I can send him? The crazy game of poker. When he gets to that pot where Johnny gets hit with a bat, he's going to lose his shit. Or he might just fucking love it. Or he just might like the fact this guy got hit with a bat. Either way, it was a win-win for me. But,
it's interesting.
Yeah.
I did notice at the end of the song, he starts talking about Of a Revolution, which is the name of the band. O.A.R, right?
Yeah,
Of a Revolution.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
I
can't believe you know this fucking band. That blew my mind away more than anything.
You know what?
The past 11 minutes of this fucking episode have completely every segment has blown my mind, between that lady getting raped by Morgan Freeman, allegedly, and fucking you knowing O.A.R. and this fucking song.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that dude from O.A.R is awesome. And yeah, he's a big comedy fan, big Howard Stern fan. I sent you a song from a friend of ours who has a band called Slipknot. Corey Taylor, you and I performed with on the Rock and Wrestling Cruise with Chris Jericho a few years ago. And I've opened for Corey on his solo band, the Corey Taylor and Friends Tour, which has now become the CMFT band. And it's a Slipknot song. Did you know this Slipknot song I sent you?
Yes, I did. I did know this song.
How did you know the song?
This is probably one of their bigger hits from when they first came out, right? Yeah,
Yep.
This was like the hit. And I used to help my buddy John do karaoke. He used to run a karaoke night in North Attleboro. And on the way to karaoke, he would just blast the fuck out of this song. Like every week. He's like, I need to get pumped up for karaoke. I'm like, it's fucking karaoke. What do you get pumped up for? We're not fighting anybody. And he would just put on the Slipknot CD, and we listen to this, and he would get fucking for karaoke for a bar in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. He'd get fucking hyped.
No shit.
Yeah. So I know this song, and I tell you what, I haven't listened to it in years.
All right.
With that being said, it was loud, right? And at first, I'm like, God damn it, I forget how loud Slipknot is. Mm-hmm. But it fucking grows on me. Once that fucking chorus hits the first time, it's like, all right, I can roll with this. I can do this. And then I get into it more and more and more and more. I like it. I probably wouldn't go out of my way to listen to it, but I like it. I can deal with it. This can be on our fucking playlist as far as I'm concerned.
Let me ask you a question. Ask you a question.
Yes.
Did your hanging out with Corey affect what you're about to say is your rating?
Yes.
All right. So just know, so we'll know whatever number you give this on a scale of 1 to 5, it's been inflated because you liked hanging out with Corey.
Yeah, but also I like the lyrics in this are fucking dope as shit, and like the lyrics are so good that he's screaming it, but you don't really appreciate it while you're in the song. But then when you go back and read the lyrics, it's like, oh wow, this is just a dark, nice story. And I think I'm too stupid to understand these lyrics. Corey's a great fucking writer. He's very smart.
He is.
And, so based on that, I also like the song. So and the fact that we fucking hit it off, right? Like we've introduced each other to a lot of friends of each other's, and I gotta say, Corey is probably top 3 when it comes to just we meet and right off the bat we just fucking hit it off like we fucking had a great time on that fucking cruise. There was no fucking getting to know you phase. It was rip roaring super soaring.
Not only
Real
that,
deal, Holyfield.
Corey came. We had 2 shows. Corey did not hide out in his cabin. Corey came to both of our comedy shows to hang out.
Yeah, came to both shows, fucking hung out, it was fucking great. And then when he found out that there was a fucking artist lounge, and we just fucking hung out in there and held court, it was fucking great.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a great time.
Yeah.
So with that being said, regular factor 4, Corey regular factor 3, Corey factor 4 on this. Yeah, just based on because I really like Corey. He's a fun boy. Which is a weird way that I would say that.
So you just gave a Slipknot song a 4 out of 5.
And I said the lead singer was a nice boy.
He is a nice boy.
He is. Nice boy.
He's a goofy dude. He's got a great sense of humor. He does not take himself seriously at all. And I would agree with that. I would agree that he's a nice boy. He's been through a lot of shit. And that's why I think he's come out the other side as humble. So people are going to find you. I know you just did an amazing episode of Wicked Funny Podcast. Where do they find you, Brian?
Yeah, you can find me at IllinoisCockburn.com. That'll take you where you can find the Wicked Funny Podcast and hear Frank talk about depression during the downtime, during the technical difficulty issue. My co-host decided to entertain the guest that we had by talking about a phase of depression he was going through like a fucking idiot. And
let me summarize what Brian is saying. There was a glitch on Brian's feed. So Brian gets cut out. One of his co-hosts, Frank, says, "Oh man, Brian's gone. I guess we'll just stall for a minute." And the guest they had on said, "Well, how you been, Frank?" And he said, "Honestly, really sad." And he just starts talking about how depressed he is.
Fuck, man.
Like, who the fuck wants to hear that in the middle? Like, it's. I think that's hilarious that you left that in. That he just had no self-awareness. That nobody's gonna want to sit there and listen to one guy just mope on and on about how sad he is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's been most of my fucking episodes of the podcast. So if anybody wants to hear him, IllinoisCockburn.com or WickedFunnyPodcast.com.
In the next week and a half, I'm going to start doing some big shows to promote the big shows of the Where Have You Been tour. And it's going to include some dates with Brian where we're going to do not Wicked Funny. We're going to do Your Music Sucks live. Maybe we'll do Wicked Funny too. I'll take over Frank's spot.
Yeah, please do. I'm going to fucking kill myself at this point.
All right.
And he's the one that's depressed.
Fuck it. We'll do it. I'll take over. Brian, I love you. Your music did not suck this week.
Didn't suck.
We all. This is the episode where we sucked off Corey and Mark.